All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Press Play. In today's video, we're going to be talking about throwback hip hop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From the 90s, maybe even early 2000s.
Maybe.
It's crazy we call it throwback. I feel old, man.
Well, those, what is that, like 2 decades?
Yeah,
have passed. No, actually 3 decades.
Yeah, because we're in 25. Diablo, that's almost 40 years.
That's 3 decades. God.
Yeah, because think about 2025, 30 years. I can't do math.
They're like, it's a 70 years, nigga. It hasn't been that long.
We old. That's
20-something years have gone by
30.
since the 90s.
30-something. Yeah.
Almost 30.
Yeah.
It's been 3 decades.
We old,
which is
fellas.
crazy.
We old.
But who do you remember growing up in the 90s
I think
listening to?
we're going to be very biased because we're East Coast people. So, of course, Biggie.
That's you guys, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
I
biased.
mean, so not you guys, because I listen to Pac too.
Yeah, no, I love Tupac.
I mean, technically, Pac, although he represented the West Coast,
East Coast.
He's technically East Coast.
I mean,
Nah, but
we know who ran rap in the 90s was East Coast
you know,
rap.
Which I think is a fair thing to add in here because a lot of people say that hip hop was in, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but an African American thing, when in reality, it was a mixture of both. It was kind of a union between the Latinos and, black folks.
if
and
you was a minority,
built
you was
that.
down. And that's what it was. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, for sure.
But I will say that up north hip hop was something different, bro.
Yeah.
It was very technical, and I think that certainly, is very different from how it is nowadays.
Definitely, no, yeah. I would say that for sure, because even for me growing up, being around, we would call the quote-unquote older heads, like my uncles and everybody like that, the impact and everything, you would see it. You would see the changes when certain songs came out. It was a movement. It was very cultural driven. I'll say that for sure.
Can't leave the South out of it, though. The South had a lot to say, man, when you had Outkast.
That was in the
So that was early 2000s
Yeah.
more
No,
than it was the 90s.
Outkast has been around since 95, I think. 94,
but-
Yeah, but you wasn't listening to Outkast.
Yeah,
I promise you was on that Notorious Big. You was on that Tupac vibe. Then DMX came out, and
Yeah, DMX
it was
was so
on
nice.
that vibe. And then 50 came out
That was about 2000, yeah.
early 2000s, and then you heard So Fresh, So Clean.
Yup, Ludacris killed it.
But that's the thing, though. I think that's where a lot of people, at least for the ones that are not Southerner, they think of Outkast as So Fresh and So Clean. But the reality is they had, 3-4 albums before that
I believe
that were big in the South.
Southerners.
They were, and I tell you, Andre 3000, man, is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh no, he's a
Oh, for
lyricist.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lyricism. That guy is something else.
Yeah, nobody's taking that away, but I remember me growing up in the 90s. I remember it was One More Chance by Biggie, or it was Pac with And I Fucked Your Bitch, You Fat Motherfucker.
Hit 'em
West
up.
Side, that shit
Yeah,
was,
that shit
hit 'em
was
up.
crazy.
that shit was one of the toughest
OP.
tiraera
Yeah.
that I heard.
And it wasn't a very technical diss track, but it was certainly one of those tracks that was very disrespectful, bro.
Very
So
blunt.
It starts off, And I Fucked Your Bitch, You Fat Motherfucker.
Motherfucker, yeah.
You started off
The
the song
video,
with that.
the video. Remember, he had the Biggie lookalike in there. I mean, that was
like
crazy.
literally, that's why I
bro.
fucked your bitch. I was like, damn.
Yeah, he definitely went ape shit on that track. I'm trying to think of another like East Coast rapper that I thought was pretty dope.
Nas was fire.
Nas, man, Nas was something
Yeah.
else. When I heard Ether for the first time,
Oof.
Yeah, he definitely went crazy on Ether. I know you don't like him, but Jay-Z's early shit was super dope. Now, when he became commercial, obviously it was for whoever liked that vibe.
Yeah.
But that early 90s Jay, even early 2000s Jay was a force.
the Blueprint was crazy.
Yeah. Blueprint was
Blueprint
tough.
was crazy. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z. I don't know. I've never really been captivated by his music like that per se, but like some of his mainstream stuff, absolutely. I think that he's definitely should definitely be in the discussion at least as one of the greatest rappers, from his era.
For For sure, for sure.
So when we talk about, it's hard because I'm trying to think back, and then now I feel old because I'm like literally thinking back, breaking it down. Early 90s, like I would say, you're right. You're gonna think of like Tupac and everything, but wasn't that like 94, 95 when it really hit hard around there?
95,
Yeah.
96.
So, so early 90s. If we go West Coast, that would have been late 80s with Eazy and all them, or no?
No, that was early 90s.
That was early
too.
90s also, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was when the riots were happening.
Yeah,
All that. That
'cause-
was like 93, 94.
NWA, all that, because
But NWA started late 80s, right?
late 80s,
late
but it hit
80s, bro.
90s because you can't go wrong with that. Cruising down the street in my 6'4", slapping the bitches, jocking the hoe. That was.
I'll be honest with you. I have a very harsh criticism about Eazy. Is that from the get, when I first really was able to understand the music, I knew he wasn't a rapper. Because you could hear it. His flow is out of tempo. It just, I don't understand how it became so big and how so many people could listen to it and be like, this was hard. I'm like, this is not
But
good.
it's the same thing we're doing now. Have you heard rap music now? It's like I feel like it's doing a giant circle because you're right. If you think about anybody we listen to, like, what's this? Like, this how I know him. That one dude that's in jail that I always thought he rapped off beat and all that stuff. Blueface, whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, he trash.
Yeah, but if
he's trash.
you could almost say the
Daka.
same. Yeah, you can almost say, like, if you think about like rapping back in the day, it's almost like, and I don't want to compare him to Easy, but that flow is like, are you just talking? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to give you something controversial. And I'm going to give you something that I think happened where in the 90s, early 2000s, they were rapping about selling drugs, making money, and this thing versus now they're talking about taking drugs
That's true.
and making money.
Very true.
There's a big difference in
Which
in-
you can hear it in the
Yeah.
songs. Like they're living what they're saying. They're actually taking
100%
drugs.
facts. They're on that good shit.
where before it was about selling the dope and making the money off the dope, and that's how I got rich.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I'm drinking lean and I'm fucking taking.
This fat motherfucker talking about he
Molly.
can't put down the cup. What is that?
Let me tell you something. My son, Danny, the other day, he doesn't know. He's the innocence. He came out the room singing, Can't Put Down the Cup. I was like, what? I was like, no, bro. You're not singing that, bro. He doesn't even know what it means. But it was so funny to me that music nowadays, that kind of highlighted that music nowadays is about how catchy it can be. It doesn't matter about the substance of the song.
I can't put down the cup. I'm just like, when I first heard that, I'm like,
Mind you, he performs that in a couch
yeah.
on stage.
Yep.
So how about this? It's like that song that I was singing the other day, and it was
yeah.
because it was catchy. It's literally says three things: what the hell, what the helly,
Yep. Oh my
what
God.
the hell,
I know what you're
what
talking
the
about.
helly. It's that over and over again. But that shit stuck. Ask him. I was the whole fucking day.
I asked him, I was like, what are you singing, bro? And then
I
he
don't
told
even
me.
know who sings it. I don't know who sings it. I just heard the shit in somebody's Instagram post.
Yep.
And I was like, this shit is catchy as fuck.
But that's what I'm saying brings full circle back because I agree with Laz. If you really think about it and you put people that would rap, actual rappers versus like a catch tune and everything, you could say that's one of the earliest ones because to this day I can hear like the beat hook, everything that was 6'4" when you heard that crew and then it was like, I guess a xylophone, you know, whatever it was. You can hear that still, so it did its job. And
I just when I look at the movie and that one scene where he's in the booth and they're making fun of him, I was like, that's exactly how his music comes across to me. Like when I hear it, that's exactly what I see.
Yeah.
I see someone who doesn't know anything about the technical side of creating music, and they're really having a hard time trying to get him on beat, you know, getting him to say what he needs to say. So I think it's just so weird to me though that Eazy, and all due respect to him, it's just so weird to me that he's held at such a high pillar in hip hop. When
Well, to me, he's not even.
No,
top
I
10.
wouldn't say
I'm gonna
high
keep it a
pillar.
buck with
Is I think it's just cultural stuff because when you ain't got a lot to grasp on, it's true. It's
you. Remember, he's held so high because of the moment
Yes.
his music was hitting.
Correct.
It
Yeah.
wasn't because of what he was saying. It was during the time that the riots.
There was a
and-
yeah, he was a
and-
rebel. He was like,
And
soy
he
duro.
was one of the people that were like, hey, I stand with you guys.
Yep.
I'm with you guys. I'm one of you guys. See what I'm saying?
on the flip side of that coin, "Fuck the Police" was crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it hit. He hit perfectly at the right time that it captivated. Because as older men now, we
I'll bleep
understand.
that. My bad.
Oh, yes. We love the Police. But like I said, as older people now, you realize that even me, that I'm 35, the stuff I would do in my 20s and when I was really young and captivated, I think about it now and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Real quick, so now that we're talking about, hip hop artists from the East Coast, the first album I ever bought, and my parents bought it for me, and my mom didn't know the substance of this music.
I already know what you're talking about. I can
was
feel it.
was I think it's called Punisher,
Yep.
which is funny enough, which is Big Pun's album.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the same one. And
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, what a tragedy, bro. That guy, Big Pun, was. I'll be honest with you, I hold him up there at that level of Eminem when it comes to lyricism. Like, this guy's lyrics was the way his cadence would be, the way he put these lines together, bro. It's next level, bro. Next level. Puerto Rican, by the way.
Yeah. I will tell you the same thing happened to me. My dad got the album. If y'all young people don't know about it, was a thing called Columbia House back in the day, and you would get CDs and everything for like a penny, and all the old heads probably owe them money to this day, but we won't talk about that. So I got that. He's like, "Oh, pick an album this." So I picked Big Pun. I was able to listen to the album one time, and my dad took it away. He's like, "No,
You know when my mom took it away? So there's a track on that song where he's smashing his girl?
Yep.
Yeah. When my mom heard that, she was like, "¿Qué carajo es eso?" She took
my
the
dad.
damn album away.
Now, don't get me wrong. He was bumping in his car, but I wasn't allowed to listen to it.
But I gotta say, I think definitely Big Pun was one of those artists that unfortunately we didn't get to see much from, bro. I mean, but what he did,
He was also 500 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
yeah. But what's crazy is, man, when you see how he looked prior to that, it's hard to understand how he got to that point because he was like a
Rice
big
and beans.
buff dude, bro. And he just de la noche a la mañana, casi 700 libras pesaba el tipo, bro. Before
It's
he
like
died.
that meme. Y'all seen the meme with DJ Khaled before he hung out with Puerto Ricans? He was skinny. Now you see him, he's
Yeah, that's true.
gordo así. But now, time frame wise, because I'm trying to think back, like legit, I'm just thinking back, like I can picture like the cultural movement at that time, like we were breaking it down to, the same thing with Eazy-E and everything like that. It's cliche to say, but you had to be there. I was younger and I remember it, so I'm gonna pass it a little bit to the little bit older guy over here.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
because no, it really makes a difference. Because last year, what?
91.
Yeah, you're 91. I'm 89.
86.
Exactly. So those 4 years make a difference, honestly, for music, because it will be a little bit differently.
Fuck you. Well, I tell you, suck my dick, you heard?
Nah, but the reason I bring it up is because think about it. In '95, I was 6.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was
already a
11.
preteen. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that difference right there, like he would view something way different than I do. Because when I remember the early 2000s, DMX, all that, then I could be like, yo.
Yeah.
So
But I'll tell you though, growing up, if you grew up in the 90s with older siblings, I think my brother's 86 too. He's right around your age. And a lot of the music that I enjoy and that I can relate to that's before my time is because of that. It's
Correct.
because my brother, my cousins, I didn't get the opportunity to listen to what was jamming then. It was whatever they were listening
Facts.
to. I mean, I remember my cousin having that damn boombox. I mean, and I'm not lying to you. They took them big ass D batteries in it. And them shit sounded crazy, which is the equivalent of little Bluetooth speakers nowadays, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, man, that was crazy, man. You pop a cassette in there and you know, they were
sick. Cassette Diablo. You're right. You're 100% right.
But I'll tell you, man, I think, you know, there's definitely a big difference of how music is consumed now versus back then. And I think that's a reason why we have, you know, the quality of music has been degraded. And I don't mean in the sense of production, right? It's certainly a lot better than it was back then. It sounds better. But it's just the effort that's put into it because it's so easy to make music. They don't have to actually put in the legwork like they did back then. Back then it was, you know, you had at most, I think, 2 tracks to record on. You know, you screwed up, you got to start over. And that's why studio time was so expensive back then. But now
I think
get an iPad, you can do it yourself.
With the purpose of it, going off of what you said, the purpose of music was different. The purpose of music before, and it's going to sound cliche and all the young people, they're going to hate, but it had a purpose. It had a message. We can go back to it. Like we were just talking about being catchy. What are we talking about? A cup or what the hell? What the hell? No, it's like music was. You would sit down. It was designed to move you.
Well, it was also a skill kind of a skill challenge between rappers, right? Back then, it was all about who can have the most complex rhymes, who can have the most punchlines. That's what it was all about. That's how you were able to. I mean, you look at DMX and these folks; they would have these random battles in bars,
Yeah.
or clubs wherever they were at. I mean, there's a video of Big Pun, spitting in front of I forgot what that dude's name who battled with este tipo, ¿cómo se llama él? Damn, bro, we were talking about LL Cool J.
Oh,
Remember
Mr. Ladies Love Cool J.
Remember the dude that battled with him? What's his name?
No, I know what you're talking about. They sleep on it though because you know that you bring up LL Cool J. I just thought about this.
LL Cool J lo arrastró, bro.
Yeah, he was a lyricist. You know who's really good? A lot of people don't remember this for you young people because she's an actress right now. Queen Latifah.
Yeah, she was sick.
Yo, when you
I'll give
hear
her that.
her rap and like when she was like, it just goes back to her flow. I'm like,
To me, though, la mamá de los pollitos, la Ivy Queen of hip hop, is ¿cómo se llama esta tipa, mano? Que ella canta también, bro. She's married to Bob Marley's son.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn
Oh,
Hill.
yeah,
bro.
Lauryn, yeah.
Lauryn Hill is.
yeah, but drugs
sick,
got her though.
bro.
Drugs, a lot. Listen, that's what we don't talk about too. The '90s, those are some real drugs. They got a lot of good people. Like
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. The 90s was just cocaine and weed. Now
that's
it's
that super coke.
I mean, did you not to throw a whole
It
topic up,
was,
but
yeah.
nowadays, I mean, the drugs is
Yeah.
next level, bro. You look at it, you overdose.
Lauryn Hill, you just. I'm Max High. What you think about Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang was fire.
Wu-Tang.
Funny enough, I'm not a fan of Wu-Tang, but to be fair, I have heard some stuff of Wu-Tang that I'm like, these guys were really next level with their lyrics, bro.
Rock King
Yep.
was a fucking beast on the mic. Method Man, Redman.
Yep.
Redman I like. Method Man not so
Old
much.
Dirty.
Old Dirty Bastard was a tough one too.
Yep.
Isn't his son rapping now?
I think so. But most of the rappers' sons are rapping now.
Big Pun's son too. He does his little thing on.
I would
He
say
has like
this.
skits too
Yeah.
that he does.
I would say this
He's okay.
about one thing. One thing I'll say about Wu-Tang, and even for us, because it's something we go through, I got to give them props for the amount of people they had in that group that they were able to collaborate and be on point, and their egos don't get in the way. Then you got to give them props for that because we're grown men, and even for us, like, and we're boys. Sometimes like we got to figure out. So imagine being then that you're pioneering in something that should not work, and then.
But
you
that's
have
a part of what I
how
was
many
telling
members
you.
of the clan Wu-Tang.
It was all about skill sets. Like who can deliver the best verse on those collabs like that, or those those, which is weird because they were like a group of what, 4?
More than
five?
that.
No, there were more than
I think it was up to 9, right?
No, but I mean the guys that were
They
Oh
all-
yeah, the
Yeah.
guys that were
Yeah.
like 4 of them.
4 of them, but they never left anybody behind either. So like even if you were like a B or C, like brother, we down. You coming? Let's go.
Another group we left out. Y'all can't deny them. Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro.
Bone Thugs was
Yes.
fire too.
I mean, they took it to a whole nother. Funny enough,
Dang, it's
when
the
I
first of
first
the month.
heard Bone Thugs and Harmony, I didn't realize, and to this day now, it surprises me. But what they did was, they were essentially making rap with melodies from like church style music, which is
Harmonies.
crazy, bro. But those guys were something else. A lot of people say that the Migos developed their style from Bone Thugs and Harmony by the way that they would flow on a beat.
That makes sense.
I mean, I can see it, but with that hippity hop.
Listen,
fucking
like
kinda
Snoop
style.
Dogg
Yeah,
says, "Hibbida."
Which is funny because he contradicted himself.
Of course,
Because then he
You got to join what's
you got to
what's
join
trending.
him. And
he basically said, "Can't beat him, join him."
and we can't, look at it. We've been talking this whole time without bringing Papa Snoop in. Let's be real. Snoop Dogg right now.
Y'all gonna hate me for this one.
You don't like him, do you?
Gin and Juice was fire.
I've
What?
always thought that Snoop Dogg was trash.
You're not gonna tell me Gin and Juice is not
It
fire.
is. You
And
know what's
then
another one of his
this guy-
songs that was a major hit for me? Sexual Seduction.
I was gonna
Remember
say-
that song?
But that's a newer song.
Newer.
Yes.
That's like 2000s.
But he think about it. Snoop Dogg right now. If you think about it, the longevity is unmatched. He's able to each generation, like we said, he can not say reform himself, But Snoop knows what he has to do. Next generation, it's to this day you can ask a 5-year-old kid, you know who Snoop Dogg is?
Listen,
Yeah.
my brother has like we've had this discussion, and he was like, "You tripping, bro? Talking about Snoop Dogg is trash." But to me, it was trash.
I mean, so each their own.
It's just his style. I don't know, bro. No me gustaba, mano.
So
Listen.
gin and juice. I don't care what you say. Gin and juice.
Yeah.
Laid
America
back.
Most Wanted was good too.
Yeah.
America's Most. I can guarantee you, I can probably name 10 songs that Snoop that you'll be like, oh, I like that song. Oh, I like that song.
And listen-
Want to know why? Because to Crunchy's point, the longevity.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's been in the fucking game since the 90s, still in the game. I'm going to be honest with you. This dude Snoop is such a pioneer in so many different things. Because not only does he rap, he does commercials for, not here,
Everywhere.
Korea,
Yeah. Yep.
China. Like, I seen Snoop like wearing a like
Tracksuit.
not like one of the robes that the
Yep.
Chinese
Oh,
people,
yeah,
like
yeah.
one of those, bro.
Yep.
And he was in a
I think-
commercial. My man, he says yes to everything. Yo, you trying to be in a commercial?
Sure, let's
you
do it.
trying to cook with the old white lady? Fuck it, we'll do that one
We
too.
want to coach the kids, and remember, he got kids playing in the NFL now from him.
He has
which is fine.
has a cartoon.
Yep.
It's called Snoop's Doghouse.
Yep.
Well, he came out on the Boondocks, I think, at some point.
Yep. All that stuff.
My man's an actor. My man does everything. My man is multi-talented.
The thing with Snoop for me, here's the thing. I like more. No, I'll explain what it is. For me, when it comes to hip hop, I love that it's either gonna be Southern or East Coast hip hop. That West Coast shit, with the exception of Pac, and no offense, I mean just the West Coast music, with the exception of Pac, is
You can't say that. You can't say that.
vibe with it, bro.
You can't say that. You can't tell me that
The
Still
Game is
Dre,
another one.
You can't tell me Still Dre. You didn't listen to that.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna tell me that The Chronic you didn't listen to.
I did.
Absolutely you did.
But let's
And-
be fair, he didn't write the Chronic.
No, but Dre did. Dre.
No, Dre didn't write the Chronic either.
Who wrote The Chronic?
That was a collaboration with Eminem and some
talking-
other writers. I don't remember
So
who it
for
was.
me, the reason why I like Snoop
Like-
so much,
My bad, I don't mean to cut you
No,
off,
you
but
good.
that song that he did, I think it's still Dre. That was written by Eminem.
yeah. But what going back to, I learned very very young. Even if you look at Dre's albums back in the day, it's all Snoop. That album was a Snoop Dogg album. It was just Dre.
Yeah.
Same thing. You go back, Snoop was on everything. That's what
Dre
he-
was fire, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna tell me that. He was
Lo que
West
pasa es que
Coast.
Dre tenía un delivery bien hip hopish. It was, let's be
Not only
honest
that,
here.
his beats was
Yeah, unparalleled to most producers.
ridiculous.
Pero yo lo que digo de Dre es que la diferencia de Dre to someone like Snoop Dogg is that his style is very hip hop like. It doesn't have that West Coast touch to it. I don't know if I'm explaining that right.
No, I know what you're talking about because the style is different. Because let's bring out West Coast Connection. Other ice.
Wait. Before we continue, because who'd y'all say was the queen of hip hop?
I didn't say she was the queen. I said Lauryn Hill is to
said-
me.
So I understand, but y'all sleeping on Missy Elliott.
Oh, I forgot,
I
yeah.
remember Missy Elliott.
Well, I would put
at
her too.
Hub,
But she's definitely
bro.
not the
She
queen, though.
rapped. She rapped backwards.
Wouldn't you
and
put her
said,
2000s?
yo, if
Yeah,
you
that's
do,
true,
if
that's
you
true.
put this shit backwards, it's gonna say exactly what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I don't care what nobody says.
No, I agree.
The thought process
It's
and
not
the
easy.
creativity that she
Yeah.
did for that was unmatched.
But that's a good example of what we were talking about earlier, how hip hop back then was very technical.
I would
And
put it
that's
though-
the part about back then music that I prefer to now.
But you see, this is the issue I have. Like I was saying before, my timeline be get messed up because I consider Missy Elliott 2000.
No, she's from the 90s.
But she's from the 90s. Yeah, she is. She is from the 90s.
Mid to
That's
late 90s, I
Yeah,
think.
that's yeah.
late 90s, 2000, yeah.
That's when it
absolutely.
popped hard. But you're right. You're 100%
in
right.
the 90s.
Yeah, so it's my timeline because my time frame when I picture 90s, I'm thinking early 90s, Dre, Snoop, Biggie, all that. But when you think about late 90s, Outkast, DMX, Nas.
Let me tell you, I would fuck with DMX before the.
Anybody.
No, I know, but I'm saying when he
I'm
hit
talking
mainstream,
about-
mainstream.
Nah, I'm with you.
No, you don't understand. Like I was.
I like
a
Outkast, but
huge-
DMX is-
I was a huge DMX fan. So I'm talking about like It's Dark and Hell Is Hot,
Yep.
Flesh of My Flesh,
Yep.
Blood of My Blood.
Yep.
And then there was Zach's. I had all of these albums, every single one of them. I'm talking about
And-
that was my guy.
And I gotta say something about this, bro, because not only was the music next level. But the art cover on those albums
Yes.
was crazy,
Ridiculous.
bro.
Yep.
There's that one where he's like this, and he's like covered in blood.
Blood, yeah.
Man, dude,
But no, I
that
agree.
was-
Flesh of my flesh,
yeah.
blood of
I
my
agree
blood.
because I had the albums too. It's just like I said, time frame wise, the reason why it hit so hard for me with DMX because remember MTV and then Woodstock and that was in the 2000s. But you're 100% right. That late DMX. Listen, I would say if I go off of my favorites, it will be DMX because that's the one that impacted me the most. That age group time frame, he was going in
So
for
I have
DMX.
a question for y'all, and this is going to be a good one. Who do you think from the 90s, 2000s is overrated?
Ooh,
Y'all ready for this?
go for it. He's already ready.
He's like, I already got
He's like, I got
Well,
it.
here's the deal because I really like, I'm not gonna say the name of the album yet, but I really like his debut album was. I mean, it was really a freak of nature when it came out because the sales, the impact it had on the era was certainly one that's worthy of mention. But I think 50 Cent was. And I say this, lyrically speaking, I feel like he was overrated.
You better put that 50 Cent meme laughing at you going, ha ha.
I'm just being honest. The music was great. And I'm not taking anything away from it, but I do feel
That's my
do
favorite
feel-
rapper of all
This
time.
guy.
And my man just wants
He
to
just went,
shit on.
I feel that he was overrated lyrically. Like people made it seem like he was a monster
You can
lyrically. He
tell he
really
grew up
wasn't.
in
He
the
wasn't
South.
technical. His rhymes weren't complex. What I think gave 50 that edge was his delivery, bro. Like his delivery was something we had never heard of before, bro.
So I'm not gonna lie, buddy. When you listen to Patiently Waiting and you listen to how he's rapping and the punchlines that he has on those,
I'm gonna be honest with you,
that
though.
is
Patiently
crazy.
Waiting. That song to me, the highlight there was Eminem.
So Eminem's bars was fire, but if you listen to what he's saying on that shit, he's on a different vibe. I'm sorry, but you wrong for that one. Bro.
Another thing I will give him too, his ability to storytell is fire, bro. Like the way that song starts, where he gets shot, crazy, bro. I mean, that just you could literally envision that scene from the movie when he was getting shot. But again, I'm not saying that 50 is not one of the best rappers. I just feel that he certainly was overrated.
it's because he grew
Lyrically
up
speaking.
in the South.
Not only,
No, not at all. Not at all. I
Not only,
promise.
listen,
My favorite rapper's not even a Southern rapper.
not only is 50 my favorite rapper, but 50 was slam niggas on their head for real, for real.
Yeah,
like,
he was. He was living that shit.
Not talking,
yeah.
not just talking the shit, but walking the shit. I'm sorry.
What is
but to
Yayo
me-
said? Yayo said, I think he got a problem.
Damn, we didn't even talk about none of them. Oh my God. That's what I'm saying. This is such a. Ooh.
Who do you think is underrated? And we got 2 minutes here, brother.
You said underrated or overrated?
Overrated. Overrated. Sorry.
I'm going to have to pass to this one because I can't. I feel,
I'm gonna tell y'all one that
Go,
y'all
go,
not
go.
gonna agree with. It's Ice Cube.
I'm
I
in
think-
agreement with you.
I think Ice Cube
I
is
like him, though.
besides that one song that
No
he has.
Vaseline was crazy, bro.
The 2 songs, No Vaseline and the one that
Good Day was fire
Good
too,
Day.
bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
Those are the 2. Besides that,
Well, fuck the police. His verse on there was crazy, bro.
man,
His delivery was fire. You know I'm not a West Coast fan.
No,
bro.
yeah. But again, like,
But I agree with you.
I liked it all, but the one that
Overrated.
the one
My
that I
brother
always
would
laugh,
disagree big time, bro.
the one that I always laugh about that we all can clown on is Ja Rule.
I mean, he's overrated.
I
too.
even forgot that guy existed, bro.
I mean, he's the most overrated.
He's the most. Ja Rule's
Yeah,
the
I
most
even forgot
overrated.
he
Like,
existed.
and this is why I always. We'll wrap up on this because I know. But this is why I always fuck with 50. 50 was the man, king of being a troll. He bought out Ja Rule's whole entire concert.
The front, no,
The
he bought out
the
the
first
first 3
200
rows or something
The
like that.
first
He,
200,
he,
yeah,
he
that's
bought out the
petty.
minimum that made Ja Rule have to come to the show because if he didn't come to the show, he wouldn't get paid. That way, he had to
Oh, my
perform
God.
in front of an empty auditorium and just 50 in there going like
Yeah.
this. That is the
50 started the whole trolling.
I love
thing,
it.
bro. And
That's-
nobody, until this day, nobody does it like him.
Nah,
He still
he's-
does it to this
he's
day.
Definitely the truth.
Yeah, that guy is something else, bro. I will say this though, to your point, we didn't even bring him up, but I feel like that about Ice Cube. I'm just like,
I enjoy him though.
he's another rapper that his delivery to me sounds like someone who has a problem with finding the umph in the beat. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's just the way I hear it.
We got to continue this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. But I think he's overrated. We didn't even go underrated because I feel like Nas is one of the ones that are underrated.
Underrated
that
for sure.
His lyrics was crazy. Even on One Mic was tough.
Oh, we good.
What we got?
No, it's still recording. I don't know why I was thinking 30 minutes. My bad.
But like I would say this, it's so hard because I enjoyed it. My biggest issue with me growing up, I enjoyed the music. So even shitty people, like shitty rappers, will hit you with that one song that you're like, okay, this is fire. So you give, it's almost like you give them a pass. It's like you got that one good one and you get the pass. Because there's a lot of people that the one hit wonders that you're like, yo, that was fire.
Oh, but there's a bunch of one hit wonders that we didn't mention that, like Vanilla Ice,
Chameleonaire.
MC Hammer.
Remember Chameleonaire? When
Hey,
he-
listen,
Millionaire.
Hammer Time, and then what's the other one? Hammer has to
You see me rolling.
Oh, yeah,
That's, that one.
Which was a good song. I'm not
That's
gonna
it.
lie. That shit was
Yeah,
it. Oh,
Rodney
and this
did.
guy that did 20-inch blade.
Oh,
on
Jesus
my
Christ.
Impala, shot caller.
I'm not gonna lie, somebody, but this is older 2000s that I think that's overrated is Fat Joe.
Yeah, he is.
He had a nigga don't dance in the bulletproof pants
That shit
and
was hard, though.
do the rock.
gotta lean
Now
back.
that the song was a banger, that fucking song
Yeah.
was a. I was out here
all
like
the way up. That song was fire too, bro.
mid.
Man, that song was
Mid.
sick.
Yeah, but that's when the
bro.
whole collaboration started. But I'm thinking about in the
His
early,
last album was trash, by the way. I just
the
wanna
early
put that out
'90s
there.
and everything. When you think about that area, it's tough to say it. But I will say this: you were talking about MC Hammer. I remember my uncle showed me another song by Hammer, which is hilarious.
Bro.
When it was like gangster. It was hilarious.
There's a rapper that we didn't really talk about that I think is gonna fall in that category of underrated, and that was Trick Daddy.
Oh, Trick
That song
Trick.
that he had back in the days, wasn't no A's,
Yeah, no, I
more
love Trick.
afros and bread, wasn't nothing for a boy to get a straight fade, but not no more. Hey, that shit was hard, bro.
That's Miami 101. over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Hey, nah, but that dude was funny enough though, he had a song with damn, what was it he had a song with? He had a
But
song
Trick,
with Bone
Trick
Thugs.
was over in the 2000s too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
A lot of it.
No, he goes back to
Late 90s,
late
he-
90s.
yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think his first album was 96 or something like that.
A lot of ones that I fuck with heavy, excuse my language, is gonna be the late 90s, 2000 because it was like I said, I was living it more. That's like, when you're in your prime, when you think you're that guy. But when I'm like sitting here thinking about like we saying our older siblings and everything like that when it comes to early 90s music, mid 90s music, it is true what you say. There's gonna be a lot of people that were truly overrated that they had one hit and you're like, oh, it's great, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah, Briscoe was one of them. I think he had like 2 good songs. This Southern rapper, and then he was done. I mean, he had
There's a
shit else
bunch
from
like
Briscoe.
that. I'm trying to think of what was a mainstream song that you like, yo, this is fire, but you never heard from again that you would like from the 90s. I'm trying to think. You're right. It's gonna be a lot of Ice-T. You're right. It's a bunch.
Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube and all that.
Ice
stuff.
T, you know what's crazy?
But he's
Ice-T
late
is
80s.
so far
Before
beyond-
80s, yeah, it's
before
like-
my time. I don't know not one of his
Oh,
songs,
he-
bro.
he-
So I don't know none of his songs, and if you ask me, he's from Law and Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, yeah.
No, but it's true.
Or
because-
what was that movie he did that he came out in as a gangster?
New Jack?
New Jack City, yeah.
and he was in the Warriors too.
Yeah, he was.
But that's the time frame because like you got 80s and then late 80s, 90s, mid 90s, and then early 2000s. It's
I can't think of any other rappers really from that era that just weren't.
we didn't even
weren't
touch
it.
on Eminem. Eminem is.
The thing
But I
about
consider 2000s.
the thing about
So I
Eminem
consider him
is
2000s
I
too.
consider Eminem
yeah,
2000s.
even though I think his first album was like 99 or something like that.
Yeah. Which
But-
was My Name Is What? My name is Who? My name is and played.
I think he was one of the first catchy rappers ever. Because
So-
if you think
so
of
yeah, but his lyrics
yeah,
Oh, he
match,
was the lyricist.
absolutely
match
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
don't ever even
No, I'm not saying that he's
So
he's
he's-
trash. Not
he-
by any stretch of the
he
imagination.
definitely
Look up
has
something really quick.
the catchiness of these songs now back in the 2000s, but when he
Let me see
spit,
something.
his shit was so complex that you had to look it up to make
Dang,
to make this shit go.
we are super disrespectful. We forgot about Busta Rhymes.
Oh my God, bro!
Like, because sometimes I got to
Talk
look at the
about a
list.
technical rapper.
Yes.
The only person, and I'll say this with confidence, the only person who I think could possibly go bar for bar with M is Busta. Busta is next level with his lyrics, his punchlines, his delivery. He's complete. He's complete as
got
a
another one
as a rapper, bro.
that y'all
That
gonna laugh
guy is
about.
something else, bro.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. We forgot about I Like Big Butts. I cannot.
Well, he's a one-hit wonder too.
Then this one's always funny.
Y'all remember Bubba Sparks?
Yeah, of course.
Another one-hit wonder.
Here's another funny
Paul
one.
Wall.
Paul Wall.
He
Well, Paul
just
Wall
came
was
out with
more
another
of a-
one. He just came out with another song that actually rides
with
really good.
Mexican OT, I think. Well, that's pretty old, though.
Here's
That's
a
like
good
2
one
years
that
old.
we forget about because I don't consider him a rapper, but he is a rapper. Will Smith. He had some.
I'll be honest with you, Will Smith never ever. I didn't know Will Smith as a rapper until I think it was my brother. Maybe when I was younger, was like, he rap, right?
Yeah.
You're
And
not
then it
gonna
hit me.
tell me get jiggy with it. You
No,
wasn't.
I was.
I
wasn't
did. So
get
here's the
jiggy
deal.
with it.
I didn't even know that was him.
No. You.
I didn't even know that was him.
There's one that we're not going
Until
to
my
talk
brother
about.
told me this.
There's one we're not going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. Diddy.
There's
So-
no way. There's
Puff-
no
Puff-
way.
the Puff Daddy.
Listen, there's no way you're gonna Mace.
Mace.
How we leave Mace out of there? Because the reality is, Mace was an animal with his lyrics, bro. Mace was certainly up there with some of the top, tier.
What you were saying is right. Juicy J and all them 3-6 Mafia.
I was never a fan of 3-6 Mafia.
I enjoyed them.
I thought 3-6 Mafia was trash. I still think
enjoyed
they're
them.
trash.
Trying to see because these lists, it's legit when you go through.
You know who else was good and we didn't talk about? Clips.
Clips.
Grinding.
Yeah, you're right.
Grinding.
No, you're
That
right.
it had Pusha P and his brother.
I didn't even know Pusha P is a throwback artist either.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like
When
right
I was
now.
told that he's been around for years, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
He was in Clips or some shit like that. They came out with that song, Grinding, Grind.
Nigga, the
mean,
locks.
like-
We didn't even talk about
We didn't. Jadakiss.
Jadakiss,
Jadakiss.
bro.
Like I'm going through. This is wild. There's things like we did Method Man. Okay, we're good.
Method Man, I think is
Dre,
trash.
we're good. Mobb Deep. We forgot about Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
Mobb Deep.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is the one I thought I totally forgot about, but they flowed really good.
Tribe Called
Yup,
Quest.
Tribe. Yeah, that was. That's what I'm
You
saying.
don't
Like, there's.
remember this, Buddy?
Let me see who else. Bone Thugs and Harmony on here.
Yo.
That was fire. Remember that?
Go by the name of Pharrell. From the Neptune.
We forgot about Pharrell.
Pharrell was
The
that,
Neptune.
Yep.
but this shit was fire.
That was fire.
That they never felt before.
All right.
Ghetto, the backyard, the yard. I sell it with one.
But yeah, that was fire. And then
I'm the neighborhood
yeah, he was moving.
Bro, this,
I ain't gonna lie, that's fine.
Bro.
I never heard that.
We forgot about
you
Nate
never
Dogg.
heard Clips? It was.
Oh, we gonna play that later,
it's
yeah.
Literally Pusha P and his brother.
Pause it before
They used to have the team.
before they banned the video.
No, but he can get that out. That we're not worried about.
Nate
did not know
Dogg,
that, yeah.
Run DMC.
Oh, but it's 2000s.
Yeah.
But Nate Dogg, to be fair, Nate Dogg was more of a corista.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was definitely the best. One of the best.
best to do it, bro.
We forgot about Cypress Hill. They had some hits.
So Cypress Hill is West Coast for me, and that
So to me, all they had was
insane in the membrane.
And a lot of weed smoking.
Insane in the
Public
membrane.
Enemy.
You know who was a one-hit wonder and Crisscross? Crisscross will make you
Jump,
Yeah.
jump. Yep.
Guess
They did their
Yeah,
reverse.
reverse. I wore my pants backwards to school. I
I
wore my pants backwards.
My daughter
Ghostface
likes
Killer.
all that 90 style. So ella se vista así como
Yeah.
los raperos de los 90.
Scarface.
Nah.
Yeah, Big Al. I don't remember them. Oh, damn. We forgot about the Fugees.
Big Al.
Yep.
We forgot about.
Slick Rick, but Slick Rick will be early. So it's like I said, it's
Slick Rick. It's
early
like
90s. Yeah,
80s.
yeah.
Ese es de los
Yeah, you're right, because
tiempos
they
de-
show Ice-T on here too. So this is just a list of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well,
a lot of good ones, but
I
we
think
got-
this is definitely one of those episodes that we're gonna have to do a continuation to at some point. 'Cause
Yes.
definitely. Not only that, but I think also maybe do one where we're talking about the influence of English or hip hop in the Spanish culture, at least for Puerto Ricans. So, especially being that those two merged together, they started that way. But yeah. We're going to go ahead and just cut it there, and appreciate you watching. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Drop a comment below. Hey, drop who you think is the most overrated 90s hip-hop
This is gonna be a
artist.
great series because we could talk about this for hours. So
can.
be ready for this series to come out. Music
Fellas?
throwbacks.
What y'all got?
Like and subscribe. Follow your boy on all our socials. And just, what about you, Harold?
Don't forget to press play.
Hey,
play.
don't forget, press play.